How do you know when you've fallen into the advice trap as a coach? And why is it so difficult to get out? Find out in this video. I was recently listening to a coaching session, and then I heard those 4 dreaded words from the coachee that told me that the coach had fallen into the advice trap. Those 4 words were, "That's a good point." That's a good point. Anytime you hear "that's a good point," or "that's a good idea," or "that's a good thought," that's the coachee indicating to you that you've fallen into the advice trap. What is the advice trap? It is a term that was coined by the author of the book, The Advice Trap, Michael Neuendorff. It's one of the most popular books in the world of coaching. And even managers and leaders have read the book. I've given it to leaders because not all leaders want to be directors. They want to empower their people and have them figure things out on their own, just like what we do as coaches. So they can benefit from the advice trap too. So those 4 words, getting back to that, that's a good point. That's when we know that we have led the client down the path that we think they should go. But here's why that's so treacherous for us as coaches, because we have egos just like everybody else. We like to think that we're smart, that we're capable, that we have good ideas. And oftentimes we do. When we hear our coachee say, "That's a good point," it actually feeds our ego. It makes us feel good. We have found that we've benefited our client in a way. And ultimately, that's what we're hoping to do, is provide benefit to our client that helps them to solve problems. But we know as coaches, we're not supposed to be driving the solution. They are. So how do we overcome this trap that feeds our ego and actually still makes us feel good and feel like we're on a good path with the client? We become acutely aware to sayings like, "That's a good point." And we become acutely aware of saying things like, "Have you?" or "What about?" When we say words like that, we know that we are on a path of leading the client. "What about this?" That usually leads to an idea that we have. Or "Have you?" That usually leads to an idea that we have. Instead of "Have you?" how about what other ideas do you have? What else do you think you could do? Given the situation, as we've discussed, and what you know about the other person, what you know about the situation, what you know about the constraints, what does that make you think of in terms of your approach? When we think of options that the client might pursue and we let them decide what those options are, then we can't lead. When we hear ourselves using words like "have you," we know that we're starting to lead. And guess what? Our meta-awareness can actually tell us, "Hey, you're starting to ask a question that's leading the client. Stop." And we can actually stop ourselves and say, "I was just about to make a suggestion and I don't want to do that because I really don't know the situation like you do." And they're going to say, No, tell me your suggestion." And you're going to say, "I could, but let's not go there yet because I think we are on a good path to explore ideas that you have." And that's truly where the fruit comes from, is your own thinking, your own generative ideas. So let's go there instead. And oftentimes the client will then redirect back to their own thoughts, their own ability to generate ideas when you gently nudge them back in that direction. So don't fall into the advice trap. Catch yourself when you do. If you haven't caught yourself, be acutely aware of the words that the client uses, because oftentimes when the client says "that's a good point," they're being kind to you because they want to basically echo back that they appreciate that you're trying to help them and have some ideas. And they might genuinely believe that you have a good idea or a good point, but that's not what it's really all about, is it? So I hope that this helps you to start become a little more aware of how this happens and why it's treacherous for us as coaches when it does happen and what to do about it. If this has helped you, please like the video, comment on it, and share it with other coaches. And of course, subscribe to the channel. New videos will be released on a regular basis. If you'd like to learn more about my executive coach training and certification programs, please visit my website, bayareaexecutivecoachtraining.com. Thank you very much.